Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got the key to this 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, and this is hands down the best looking Hyundai that Hyundai has ever manufactured and ever produced. And I have been given the privilege and the honor to drive such a beautiful vehicle. But before I get too ahead of myself, you guys will notice it has a new body style, making it look more boxy, more luxury, and more like a Range Rover than your typical Hyundai. But I like how Hyundai is going more and more of the luxury, even more sportier with their vehicles, and just staying calm, collected, economy, boring economy cars. I really like that. But some quick specs about this car. It's powered by a 2.5 liter inline 4, pushing around 277 horsepower. And since it's all-wheel drive, it also has an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, making this thing shift quick, aggressively, or as smooth as you want it to be. But this is what our key looks like. And another subtle feature I like about Hyundai is not that they sneak in random Hyundai logos pretty much everywhere, is that even their tail lights represent an H. Or their headlights, in this case, their headlights represent an H. That is something most car manufacturers kind of shy away from and maybe go for the more circular one. But Hyundai is bold. They'll just put an H on anything they can at this point. And even, yeah, back here, the tail lights as well, they also have an H. But opening up the trunk space real quick. There we go. As you can see, we also have a backup camera coming up here. Not as much space when you have the seats up back here. Like, nothing too crazy. Maybe enough space to put some groceries, but coming down here, you get your instruction manual and everything, like tools, and a little bit of more storage back here as well too. This is where we threw out all the plastics, so not a good way to showcase how much space there is in this thing. As you can see, this is now a 7-seater with two-tone leather inside. We'll get into the interior very soon, but this thing looks very luxury-like. Almost better luxury than almost some other brands I will not name. But hopping into the interior real quick, we are greeted by a beautiful tan leather going all around the vehicle, making it look so much just beautiful, man. I could just sit in here and stare at it all day, man. And for all those who are into Instagram, just pretty much take a video of this thing. It will look great in any setting. Also, coming to the door, again, more tan leather, wood trim, aluminum trim surrounding the wood trim. And you may think this is plastic. No, it's more stitched leather going all around. Bring your window controls up like so. Very nice netting. And this is the only part that actually has plastic that encases your speaker. Now, if we go all the way to the back seat, which is kind of my least favorite thing about this one, because it is a little bit of a struggle to get into it, but put your big foot first, hop in. Pretty decent. Like, you won't be as comfortable because, as you can see, my knees are into the seat in front of me, so I'd have to ask the person in front of me to move a little bit so that I can be somewhat comfortable as well too. But this is coming from a guy who's like 183 centimeters, or for most people 6 foot, so it's not gonna be the most comfortable squeeze. If you're shorter than me, you might have an easier time, but more likely than not, you're not gonna be the most comfortable in the back seat. So I wouldn't recommend a full-grown adult to sit back here. But hey, you have AC controls, Type-C charger, and there, a port as well too. Now let me quickly get out of here before I feel claustrophobic. Ooh. Now pushing this back out there, hopping in from a regular passenger stance, tons of leg room. We don't have the conventional cloth net to grab yourself, but you can have the plastic one. And if you're thinking about storage, we got storage over here, we got storage down here as well, which is really nice. Like, all these hidden things you wouldn't have known until you start pushing random buttons to see what does what at that point. And that's what we're gonna be doing for a little bit. This is where our cup holders come from. Very nice and very luxury, like very simple but very classy. And for all those people who keep complaining that the back seats usually don't have heated seats, the new Hyundai does have heated seats in the back as well too. Now before we go inside. We're gonna pop the hood to show you guys this beauty, or our power plant at least. This is our 2.5 turbocharged inline four, and as you can see, Hyundai tried to make it small, but for this engine, or for this vehicle of this size, the size of this engine is perfect. It's peppy, it's quick, and it makes the car feel more responsible and less heavy than it actually is. And we'll do one last quick walk around before we go for our drive. Just straight up beautiful. Boxy car, all-wheel drive, and yes, you can take this thing off-road. Because why not, man? It has all-wheel drive and it has the power to back you up as well too. This one is the luxury trim, just one trim below the calligraphy, which is the top of the top end, essentially. And let's go for a ride. But actually, let's talk about the front actually. I'm getting ahead of myself at this point. Alright, 2 wireless charging pads. Put your foot on the brake, hit start. Very nice. Again, Hyundai, they want to put an H here, so instead they put Morse code for what H means in the Morse code. I want to say alphabet, at least. Our climate controls are fully touchscreen, so we can turn our ventilated seats. Here we have our drive mode selector from going to my drive, to normal, all the way into sport. We also have our parking cameras. So we have a front back view, a front view, and a full-on 3D view, which just combines everything all cameras see. And also a bird's eye view as well, because why not? Our menu controls over here, and a good 12.3 inches of screen for your infotainment system, and another 12.3 for your digital gauge cluster. Very simple stuff. And we also have navigation as well too, which is actually pretty responsive. Like, the screen in this thing is very responsive. But enough of me chatting, let's go for a drive and use these paddle shifters for once. Put the car in drive. And for those who are wondering where the Prindle is, it's right here. Here's our Prindle. Drive, reverse, park. And we also have some storage down here as well too. Like, so many hidden things that if we had the entire day, I could spend the entire day talking about this car. Also, ambient lighting going all around. Like, who wouldn't love a car like this? This thing is just straight up beautiful. And memory seats. Let's go for a drive now. So since we're going for a drive, let's go back into normal and act like a regular civilian for a little bit. Which is kind of hard to do when I feel that this paddle shifter is just behind my fingers, just behind my steering wheel. Make me want to just punch it, but hey, blind spot monitoring as well. The suspension is very, very soft, even in normal mode right now. Because, for example, you'll feel like an SUV this big would not be light on its feet, but this thing, though it may have a little bit of body roll, it's still very, very responsive and very, very quick to take in the input you want. Well, if you want to talk about sensitivity, about if you feel what's on the road through the steering wheel, this is not a sports car. So you shouldn't even be thinking about stuff like that. You should think about how much it isolates you from the road. That's what you start thinking. But let us go into sport mode, like regular driving mode. It's going to be very similar to a lot of other cars, because when you're going 40, even if you're in a Lambo or a Ferrari, they're going to feel very, very similar, because you're not pushing a car to what it's supposed to be doing. And since this one is neither of those, it is still a very nice luxury car to have. And even going over bumps and crevices on the road, this thing just flies through all of them, absolutely no problem at all. Like, I love that. But let us drop it down into sport mode. And since our Prindle is down here, we don't have a fully manual mode to keep the car in. But paddle shifter controls, very, very responsive. Like, quick to respond, quick to adapt to anything you do. And with the dual clutch system this thing has, it makes it super easy well, not easy, it like predicts what you want to do if you want to upshift or downshift, so it's always in the perfect power band at all times, which makes this car very, very nice to have. And since we're trying to treat it like a sports car, even though it really isn't, it still performs very well if you want to push it to its limits. Quick 3-point turn. Actually, a lot of range when you put it in 3-point turn like this. Like, it's very easy to do a 3-point turn in a car like this. Every day you have to use the backup camera, just a simple boop, 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 and we're gone. But we'll try out a horn test, switch to cruise control, and do one last quick acceleration. Now let's try a quick acceleration. Okay. Acceleration won't be the greatest thing. Again, it's a big body, even though it doesn't feel as big of a body. But acceleration is quick. And let us try out our lane keep assist. That's on. Our radar is ready. And we're gonna turn on cruise control and set to 45. Let's see if it senses cars in front of me. But I am sure this is fully adaptive cruise control, so making it cruising on the highway very, very easy. As you can see, it sees the car in front of me, so it starts to premeditatively slow down by itself, which is very, very nice. And accelerates by itself as well. Tell me to watch for my surroundings as a person sprints across the street. Why? But again, this is a very... I swear, what's up with people running through the street today? I guess it's a crosswalk, but when you sprint through the street like that, it looks like you're just trying to not... Well, I'm not gonna say the word, but it looks like you're just not trying to live anymore. As you can see, it reads the road signs and it knows that we're in the school zone area, so we're taking it slow and very, very calmly right now. But the ride quality is immaculate, people. I'm telling you, this thing is just straight up a beauty to drive. And the interior just screams at you every time. It's like a masterpiece for your eyes. Every time you look everywhere, you notice like a cool little detail. Like when a shadow hits at the right angle, you see ambient lighting. When a shadow hits at a different angle, you see how the tan looks in the sun, as it not blinds you, but it just captivates your eyes, and you just keep seeing your eyes navigate everywhere. And as you guys know me, I love my sunroofs, which this thing not only has one, but it has two sunroofs, one for the rear and one for the front, which is the most coolest thing ever. But anyway, this has been Morty with the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, arguably the best car Hyundai has ever made. As you can see, it's still trying to drive me around as it goes around the curve, which is really, really neat. But anyway, guys, take care, have fun, and peace.